Welcome once again to Hunter's Entertainment on Twitch.tv. My name is Noxweiler Burf, your game master and guide through a dark and challenging world of survival horror. Tonight, as we do every Tuesday evening, we are playing Outbreak Undead. This game is not for the faint of heart, and I, as the game master, have confirmed consent with each of my players. Our lines and veils have been very firmly drawn, and we have safety protocols in place to assist and protect everyone at the table here tonight. We ask you for your consent as well, and we encourage you to very closely read the content warnings. This game offers us all opportunities to explore dark themes and to shine a light on the human condition in the safe confines of our imagination. That takes bravery and the support of every person here at the table. Not every character here is being played with the same objectives. They don't all have the same motivations. Some are working against the other players and are in communication with dangerous outside forces. There will be blood shed here tonight. Still, in the greatest of darknesses, hope burns brightest. I would like to thank both JB Jara and Alex Hillman and the entire Hunters team for their endless support in helping to make this campaign possible. Please sign up for the Scry program in our panels below and engage with the communities of the apocalypse very directly. You can take on the role of a survivor yourself and help to divert much-needed resources and goods to where you think they are most needed, where they will do the most good, or perhaps where they will do the most harm. Your choices will very much mean the difference between life and death in the many linked settlements of the Rag and Bone universe. Our tireless Undead moderators are currently in the chat and are prepared to help you by answering any questions that you have. They wish to support you in your efforts, so please support them in theirs. Also, if you enjoy this content, we ask that you continue to make noise on social media. Let the world know that you have found us and help us to grow this content, to bring more survivors into the fold so that we can tell more tales and delve even further into this world. Join us in our Discord and connect with others that you feel might enjoy this particular brand of Dark Ride. There's much to be said tonight, and I do wish to introduce you to all of tonight's players, but before we do, content warnings aside, I feel that it's important that I address something very directly and that I give you a verbal content warning. Dissociative identity disorder is very real. Post-traumatic stress disorder is very real. Depression and anxiety affect millions of Americans throughout the world and beyond. Mental illness is often mischaracterized and abused in media. Alongside my players, I have worked very carefully alongside their consent and trust to tell a story that I hope has brought attention to some of these disorders. And I hope, perhaps, that it has encouraged some thought and discussion. Mental illness in a post-apocalyptic setting would be very real, and without proper treatment and support, it would bring with it a very serious series of challenges to the individuals that were undertaking it, undergoing those challenges. The children, raised in the wilds of a zombie-infested world, facing death on a daily basis, would develop coping mechanisms to survive. And in this way, some of the aforementioned mental illnesses would help some to adapt and survive. They could be beneficial to those who were dealing with them in some ways. So please, read our content warning carefully, and if you or someone you know is suffering from mental illness, please reach out directly to a professional for help. You can also call the National Alliance on Mental Illness at 800-950-NAMI. When done correctly, we believe that these portrayals can be enriching and prevent erasure, but when they're done incorrectly, they can be damaging and cruel. We do not tell these stories lightly and without the proper respect. We thank you for your trust in this journey. Now, we have so much to do, but before we do so, I'd like to introduce you to each and every one of the players here tonight. First, Michelle, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're doing across the internet and who you'll be playing tonight?
Hey, I'm Michelle and Bradley, and it's gonna be a rough day today. You can find me here every Tuesday, of course. Wednesdays over on twitch.tv/officialpaizo playing Starfinder as a space moth who's very rich and very mean. And also on the Total Nerd YouTube channel. Also, tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon Pacific time, you can find me over on twitch.tv/astylepixie. We're doing a huge all-day stream that is supporting Stop Asian American Pacific Islander Hate. We'll be donating the funds to various organizations. The event goes actually from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. all day on the channel, but I'll be participating in a D&D session from 12 to 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. So if you want to come join me over there, you can do that. It's gonna be fun. And I play Juniper here, and also Olive, which is her other persona. Last we saw Juniper, she's trying to escape this brig and wasn't doing too hot and fell, but was like kind of okay. And then I think I got shot, but we never resolved it. So let's see what happens there. I'm very nervous.
There is much to resolve, and we're very thankful for your presence here tonight. And please do find the time to follow A Style Pixie and watch their channel for this very important content. We appreciate all of your support. Markia, would you like to talk a little bit about what you're doing elsewhere on the internet and also who you'll be playing here tonight?
Hello, I'm Markia McCarty. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. It's just my name squished together. For Twitch, it's Darth Markia. For Facebook, it's Markia TV. So this is going to be a pretty fun and in-depth week. Well, Mondays you can catch me on Roll20 app, their Twitch. And at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I'm in a Kids on Bikes campaign. That is nearing the end of its first season. So go ahead and jump into that to have a good spooky small town feels going on. And of course, Tuesdays, you find me here. For this week, this Thursday, my show, Something Scary, is having a live podcast. We're doing that through loopedlive.com. That's LOOPEDLIVE. That is going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be spooky stories and just back and forth with the audience. I have a special guest from the Scary podcast. I'm Something Scary. He's the Scary podcast. And he's also going to be doing an original story. There's also a meet and greet element to it. Go ahead and check out my Twitter, or you can go to loopedlive.com for it. And then, of course, Thursday and Friday during the day, I am GMing a dual campaign of Altered Carbon, Birmingham Uprising. It takes place in the year 2368. This campaign, both of them are at 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's two sides of the same story. So remember, everybody's the hero of their own story. And depending on the choices that the players make, I'm really looking forward to everybody seeing how even villains can be heroes. And we're just doing that in April. And second episode will be this Thursday and Friday. And so hopefully you'll check that out as well.
We're ecstatic about all of the, especially the Altered Carbon content that you're producing here at Hunters Entertainment. And I highly suggest that if you haven't already, to please find your way to us on both Thursday and Friday at Level Up Dice and here at Hunters Entertainment. Melee, would you like to talk a little bit about what you're doing across the internet and where people can find you?
Hi there, I'm Melee Damage. You can find me on all of the socials at whatever they are /Melee Damage. I am a musician by first nature before even gaming, so I've been doing a lot of musical stuff lately. You can find my song Mothership on any of the music platforms. You can buy them, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all the places. Do check that out. And I'm here every Tuesday playing this wonderful game with these wonderful people and enjoying it so very, very much. And I have a few other things going on in the works right now that I can't quite talk about yet, but they're amazing and wonderful, and you should all be very excited. I will be playing Rowan tonight, and I am very curious to see how this goes. We left on quite the cliffhanger with her last week, and Juniper, so it's just the eyes, all the eyes. So
We're very excited to see how this resolves itself. Luis, Who are you playing tonight, and what else are you doing across the internet?
Hey everyone, I'm Luis Carrazzo. You find me on the social medias with my name, Luis Carrazzo. Put that together, you'll find me. I got a couple commercials that are airing right now, and in mid-April I'm shooting a revenge thriller film that's of course gonna have a release date somewhere down the road, but that's someone vastly different from who I am in this. I'm playing Lampwick here, and I mean, I don't even know how to describe Lampwick. I feel like he's like a chameleon in a sense. For the longest time, he's been able to kind of exploit other people and use them and manipulate them in a sense. And lately, he seems to be trying to, be a different person in this apocalypse. And he's also trying to get out of the brig alive. But someone's there is trying to kill him. So we'll see how that goes.
It is very, very clear that someone is trying to kill Lampwick. I think multiple someones might be trying to kill Lampwick. I'm not sure that they're all in the same place, Luis, but I do feel like tonight is going to resolve some of that. We would be remiss if we didn't take a small step back here. Markia, would you please tell us a little bit about the character that you're playing tonight?
Yeah, I forgot to tell y'all that. Sachira. Achira is between a rock and a hard place right now. She's back in the Citadel camp, which she had escaped previously. She does not have friends there. In fact, the children that she left behind after she got them out, they're there and they're ticked. And along with that, she's trying to escape the brig in one piece and then make sure that her chosen family gets out too. And along with that, she's got a really important mystery to solve. Exactly who took out her love, decapitated them, and then left their head in a field for Achira to find.
Was
A lot of things.
Brutal loss to Achira, and it has driven her forward. We will be exploring that as well. Well, we have very much to deal with tonight. We have a lot of ground to cover, and it is growing dark. Let's get moving. We'll be right back. The world ended on Monday, May 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out simply as another round of the summer flu. It became something far, far worse. H1N5, commonly called the Legacy or the Reaper's Kiss, was as deadly as it seemed to be, and became even more infectious after those poor souls passed away. At first, it seemed as though no one was immune to the airborne strain, but eventually it became apparent that 0.01% of the population had a natural immunity. However, even those lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus through a bite or a deep scratch, perhaps blood-on-blood contact. When infected in that way, it would take hold and take everything from the individual that had contracted it. Their life at first, but then any semblance of dignity as they would rise from the dead and desperately seek out the flesh of the living. Filled with rage, they would mindlessly push forward, gathering together in large herds and attacking like ravenous animals anything that was living nearby. The dead congregated and entire cities fell. The end of days were like wildfire, and throughout the world, desperate people sought some semblance of security and safety. But there was none to be had. Entire cities burned to the ground, but miraculously, somehow, a small percentage of the population survived and continues to survive. And for the next 25 years, life struggled forward, limping into an unknown future. The world now is a fractured place, but some seek to make civilization anew. The Ender's Line is one such group. They are rag and bone merchants that have taken it upon themselves to use old railway tracks to connect the small scattered outposts and settlements that have cropped up across the Midwestern United States and beyond. The Ender's Line hopes to bring goods and services to those who need them most. They are a lifeline in a world that now belongs entirely to the dead. Within the dark confines of this warehouse, there is only the light of the burning fires from within the Citadel. The secured military base has been infiltrated by those that would do it harm. The walls, sturdy, covered in razor wire and guarded endlessly by military-trained personnel, has made a mistake. They have trusted someone that they shouldn't have. Somewhere their security has been lax. Failures have occurred and accumulated. And now, various buildings, more importantly, fuel depots, burn like wildfire across this open lot. There are buildings that have been secured and have currently been drenched by water. The brigades that have arisen from the soldiers that reside here are doing their best to quell the infernos that surround this warehouse that you're all within. This warehouse is a metal building with no windows and only 2 sets of double doors, one on the north end and one on the south. It leads like a long, vacant corridor that has been filled now with welded steel trellises, shelving, industrial pallet shelves that have been repurposed now to build a series of walkways and cages that are raised up off the ground. There is no solid wall or floor to any of these places, these cages. They are entirely open for all to see. However, the few electrical lights have failed. The generator that powers them seems to have been shut off, either from malfunction or perhaps sabotage. Either is quite possible. But now it's dark here, and the flickering light of the fire outside from the open doors on the northern side of this building are all the light that is cast here. There is a small military unit. They do have a number of very powerful flashlights that have makeshift batteries that cut through some of this darkness. They're holding automatic weapons. They are armored, wearing riot gear. Their faces are covered. They are helmeted. A crack squad of the Citadel's best soldiers that have breached this doorway and have entered into this space where chaos nearly broke out. 2 of the dead have been shot with 2 cracks, and they have dropped to the floor. At the rear of this unit, Rowan, you have continued to walk alongside your brethren, your allies, your companions, your family, your unit. The people that comprise this place are yours. You are the lieutenant of this place, one of just a handful of individuals that hold leadership and help to rein in the chaos and loss of this world. The Citadel has always worked for the betterment of those around them, whether they see it or not. They have done very drastic things to ensure the survival of not only themselves, but of neighboring communities. And they are doing well. They have vehicles. They have gathered biodiesel. They have been able to produce ammunition for their weapons and have been able to improve the manufacturing of many of the blades and other sharp steel instruments that you use to survive on a daily basis. Citadel steel is well known to those who are able to afford it. Of course, you have spent many years here. And as you move forward with your pistol in front of you, you were expecting many things. You knew what was inside. Through the radio, you knew already that the 2 prisoners that had been brought here to the Citadel, Achira and Juniper, were no longer secured. It doesn't surprise you. Wherever they go, chaos follows. Your face is testament to that. Lampwick was the surprise, as he often is. A wild card. Unpredictable. He made contact. It turns out that he's working with another group. Survivors that the Citadel knows a fair amount about. That doesn't mean that they trust them. They're religious nuts. They seem to have an agenda all their own. They're mysterious, they're quiet. And if the rumors are to be believed, they're very dangerous. They're holding some secret over the dead. A secret that they're using to leverage power out of the apocalypse. All of this hangs in the air. You could hear a pin drop. It's silent for a brief moment as those dead bodies hit the ground in front of you, the unit scouring the area ahead. Above, there is rustling from the cages and the walkways to your left and above. And then it happens. A figure drops down from the scaffolding and lands on the ground next to you. You turn. And Rowan, I have to ask, did you recognize the individual?
Indeed, I did.
When Juniper landed in front of you, you turned your pistol upon her and you pulled the trigger. The gunshot rang out through this setting as the warehouse walls reverberated from the solitary shot. Lampwick and Achira, you don't see exactly what's happened. You saw the silhouette of Juniper and that strange, ragged-looking girl interacting with Juniper, grabbing at her, and then Juniper dropped. And then a moment later, you heard the gunshot, and everything was silent. Juniper, you hit the ground, and you come eye to eye with Rowan. Her gun drawn, you see the flash of the muzzle, and everything goes dark. There is a ringing. Juniper, you are alone. It is dark. Somewhere nearby, there's the crackle of a fire. You feel the warmth across the side of your face. It works its way across your body on your left side. And you feel warm. And as you open your eyes, you're in the woods. Trees surround you as dark silhouettes, sentinels that stand silently watching over you. And there is a small campfire that burns in front of you. You see your sister, Olive. She is crying.
Hey, what's going on?
You have never seen your sister cry. I'm sorry. I tried. I tried so hard.
Tried to do what?
I tried to protect you.
Well, we protect each other.
You did. You did more than that. Juniper, you saved me. You made me feel like I had a reason. You know? Out here, we were it. You, me, we were all that there was.
Yeah, I mean, that's all there is. Anyway, there's nothing else. There was only ever us.
They tried. There were people who tried, and I know you wanted to be friends with them. You wanted to know other people, and I know I could be jealous, but they would hurt us, and they've hurt us in the past.
I mean, I know that's true, but I don't know, it just felt a little different this time. Maybe it wasn't.
I don't know that anyone in this world is as safe as we are. And I don't care. You were all that I ever needed. But I was always afraid that I wasn't, as your sister, I wasn't enough to be able to keep you going.
We kept each other going, and I mean, don't beat yourself up about it. It's not like any of this matters. It's just us. Anything we do with the outside world, it's just echoes. It just goes away. It all disappears anyway.
Your sister is sitting there, and she's moving her hands like this. And just knitting them quietly, silently looking down at them as she sits by the fire. Juniper, what do you do?
I sit down next to her. Did you want to sing the song?
Can we?
If you want.
Okay.
The itsy
Itsy
bitsy spider
spider
went
went
up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Up
Out
came the sun
sun and dried out all the rain.
rain. And
the
the itsy bitsy spider went up
up the spout again.
I just forget that last part for some reason. That the sun comes back out after the rain.
I think it comes back out. That's. Do you remember them?
The spiders or the sun?
Mom and Dad.
I remember the picture. And I don't know how people are supposed to feel about parents, but all I saw were two people who looked really happy. But they didn't make it, did they? Happy people don't make it in this world. That's just the truth.
It is. I always thought I was the strong one, but it's just not true. I remember them. Juniper, I remember lots of things that I haven't let you remember. And I'm sorry.
Well, what kind of things couldn't I remember? If I don't remember them now, does it really matter?
I don't think it does. I just love you, and I don't want you to be hurt.
And I love you too. But we're probably gonna be hurt a little. Pretty sure I just got really hurt a second ago. I can't remember. All I know is I don't feel like beating ourselves up about being wrong. Were we wrong? Were you wrong? Was I wrong? This whole stupid world is wrong. So why does it even matter? There's no right. There's just what is.
Juniper, you sit with your sister, your twin, on a log by a fire, surrounded by trees that stretch up high above you. There is a fire burning before the two of you. You're holding hands. Your sister's face is tear-streaked, and she's shaking.
Whatever happens, we'll still be together. It's gonna be okay. I'm scared too.
What if we weren't? What if we weren't together?
I don't know. I don't want to think about that.
I believe you can do this. I know you can do this. I've seen you. It would be silly of me to think that you couldn't make it out there without me. I've been selfish. It's been unfair. And I know we shouldn't beat each other up. We always just move forward. We find a way. We persevere. We grow. We take what's ours. We take what we need. No matter the cost. But I think I'm done taking things.
Maybe we're both done.
Do you remember that time that we broke into the hospital? And you watched me die?
I guess I do remember that now.
And do you remember the time those men with guns came? And you watched me die?
I remember now.
And do you remember the fire?
Yeah, I remember now.
She grabs both of your hands and she kneels before you. The tears start to well up again. Do you remember them? Mother and father, their faces, and what happened to them?
I think I do now.
That's good. I don't want you. I don't want you to be cheated out of things. And I don't want to ever steal from you again.
It was easier that way. But the time has probably come for that to stop.
Do you know who I am?
I know. I've always known. It just was easier to avoid it. But you're me. I'm you. We're just one person.
Juniper, you're sitting alone in front of a fire, holding your own hands tightly clenched together. Tears are running down your face, and you feel the warmth around you. And you realize that is not the warmth of fire, but a strange burning sensation as you are lying in a pool of your own blood on a cold floor in a warehouse in a place known as the Citadel. You are dying, and you know it. But more importantly, you know who you are. And you remember everything. And you're not sad anymore. It feels different. You feel safe. And you feel ready to let go. Juniper, you sputter. The life leaves you, Your ragged breath slows and then stops, and all of this happens in a heartbeat. Rowan, you are standing over the dead body of Juniper. The pistol is smoking. The unit turns back. The voice of Riggs rings out from behind his face mask. Bingo, sweetheart, you got one.
Yep. And I just joined back into formation and keep walking.
The unit continues to push through the darkness. Achira, Lampwick, I need your intentions very quickly.
We're on the second floor. Who's near us? That's who's near us?
Well, it was completely dark until just a few moments ago. And now, because of the burning fires outside in the Citadel yard, you are able to see through the flickering orange light a number of silhouettes. There are a number of dead now, consuming something, someone, on this walkway in front of you outside of the gate. Achira is holding on to the cage, keeping it closed. You were communing, perhaps, with one of the dead who is still standing there. Further down on this walkway, you see a small, dark-haired young girl who is in a series of these hospital scrubs that are given to all of the prisoners of the Citadel. They're dirty and they're oversized, and she's standing there staring over at whatever's happening below. You can't see clearly. You hear walkies begin to sputter, and you hear footsteps from boots as individuals are moving through this warehouse closer to your location.
I turn to Achira. We need to make this decision now. Are we leaving or are we staying in here? It doesn't look like this place is going to keep it together much longer.
There's nothing for us here. We need to get out.
Stay. Make sure that I stay between you and any of those dead. Okay? I can't guarantee that I can keep you safe, but I can try.
I just need to get to one of those soldiers without the others seeing. I just need their jacket and their mask, and I can get out of here on my own.
Do I still have my backpack with me, Nox? I think I do I not?
You have everything. Achira, you only have the items that you've smuggled in, as we discussed, and you do have a weapon, a blade, with you. But other than that, you're fairly. I think you did pick up a gun as well, and the sword, correct?
Yes, I've got 2 blades on me right now. A poisoned combat knife that I have in my boot that I came in with. Yes. I have the knife that I got off of the Citadel soldier, and I also have a loaded pistol. Since Achira has been in the Citadel camp before, would, for instance, she know where the weapons locker is within the brig?
You do not recognize the brig. It is a construction that has been added since your time here. It has been over 20 years, in fact, since you were here last.
Could it be an educated guess, since
yes.
Just saying from a military perspective, no matter where you're stationed in the world, the base is laid out in the same way.
I appreciate what you're asking. I would counter that this is evolved beyond that point, and it is very unrecognizable as the sort of military encampment that you might find in the modern realm. However, I don't wish to say no to the opportunity for you to make a educated guess. So what I will do is I will have you roll for me, and all I'm going to ask you to do is, with no degrees or dice of difficulty, roll a spot listen check.
Anything added to it? Just regular.
It's just a straight roll for you because I don't believe you have any of your recon equipment on you at this time, so I think you're just going to need to roll straight.
Okay.
And is that just for Achira?
Yeah, it's just for Achira. Yeah, for this moment.
And Achira, while Lampwick asks you, the soldiers you want are the ones that I came with, or the ones from the Citadel? You said white mask.
No. They're going to be in combat gear. Dark jackets and masks that cover their faces. If I can get one of their jackets and that mask, then I have a good chance at getting out.
Got it.
I'm not here for the other ones yet.
Lampwick says nothing to that.
So as you're scouring, it's dark. It's hard for you to see Achira. You have an idea of where it might be, but currently on your roll for spot listen, you have 4 degrees of failure. Now, I didn't say anything earlier because we were moving into some fairly emotional role play. However, due to the efforts of our friends in the ether, you have each received an additional competency point because we have hit our goals of trying to gather either 100 follows or 15 subscriptions. So as we have done so this week, you will be able to use an additional competency point. Is there anything that you want to do about 4 degrees of failure on this?
I can use 2 to not make it as big of a failure, but I think I'm going to need them for later.
Allow me to do you a favor. Only do a single competency point. That will reduce it to 3. And all I will say is that you find nothing. It's very dark and you're distracted. However, what you do see shakes you to your core. Juniper's body is on the ground in a large pool of dark reflected blood. You don't know how anyone could live with that much blood outside of their body. She's not moving.
Lampwick.
What?
They killed June.
I approach where Achira is, and I look exactly where she's facing.
You see through the cages, down on the ground, like a rag doll. Juniper, her small form, broken on the ground in a very large pool of blood. You can't see where the wound is, but there's very little chance that she's alive with that much blood on the ground.
I reach over and I grab Achira's hand. And I hold it tight.
Achira holds it tight back.
We have to leave now. They're coming to kill us.
Obviously, they're trying to kill us all.
I'm ready when you are, and I put my hand on the door ready to open it.
Let's
I
go.
guess heading to the other side, right? I'll follow you. You keep those dead on the other side. I'll stay in between you and them. I think I can protect you.
You have earlier Achira saw the shepherds taking out guards because she said that over to Rowan.
Mm-hmm. You did see that. And then you lost sight of the 2 shepherd guardians that had been with Lampwick. You do not know where they are.
Right now, we can't trust Rowan or anyone who's Citadel. We might be able to trust the prisoners up here. We might be able to trust your people
We can
temporarily.
Trust them. They're the least dangerous right now.
I'm not going to go there right now.
We don't have to, but
I'm just saying, enemy of my enemy.
Exactly. With that, I open the door and I look at Achira waiting.
We move. Lampwick staying in between with the dead. Let me understand this layout right here. If we head east, and by that I mean to the right of the map, if we is this all one flat surface, or is this like alleyways of like walkways going around like a rectangle, or is this
So
all one
they're
place?
alleyways. You can go around the back of any of these cages, but everything is visible. You see through them. So that occurs on the first floor and also on the second floor where you currently are because of the raised position of all of the scaffolding that holds you up. You can move around to the back side of these cages. It doesn't allow you any sort of cover, really, except for the fact that these metal bars and the mesh sort of protects you against perhaps some gunfire, but they can see you very clearly.
Okay, so all we really have going on for us right now is the darkness.
Right.
Okay, then when we leave, we're going to go in this direction.
Okay, I'm watching now on the map as you're going to move that way. You do not know, on this area here, you have no idea where the two members of the Shepherds are. You do know that they were in that area last you saw them. Rowan, your group is very close to the first set of stairs that leads up to the left side of these cages. The unit is moving forward. You currently have a number of formation bonuses because of the individuals that you're traveling with. So you're fairly well shielded. You are under cover, as is regulation formation, is that leadership typically doesn't put themselves out in front, although Riggs is a bit of a blowhard and often doesn't follow that regulation and puts himself right in the middle of the shit, as he likes to put it. So he is at point right now, leading forward, but he's also one hell of a shot, and it isn't the worst place in the world for him to be. As you begin pushing forward, is there anything that you intend to do as you're coming closer to the point where you know that Lampwick, Achira, and Juniper must have been?
I just instruct the group, if you see any one of those, in particular, anyone from the Shepherds, Lampwick, Achira, grab them. We don't want them leaving. Don't hurt them, but I need to figure out who the fuck is behind this.
Copy that. Have you ordered for radio silence, Rowan, or do you want individuals to be communicating over radio?
I haven't ordered for radio silence because for the most part, I'm still trying to hear what's going on at the outside explosion site.
Yeah, and you do hear continuous reports that the fires are still being put out, that there are some sweeps that are happening on the outskirts. The landmines are all active. Everyone is pretty sure that whoever did this is still within the perimeter, and so they're starting to work to do searches. They brought the dogs out. And so now they're being very aggressive about how now that things are a little more in hand with the fires, they're being a little more aggressive about how they search out the individuals around there. It turns out that there's also reports of secure doors being unlocked, and they think that someone has gotten hold of a number of the rings of keys that are only held by leadership. And so somebody has either stolen something from leadership, or somewhere you're going to find out that one of the 4 lieutenants is dead.
Guys, let's try and do this as quick as possible, too. It sounds like there's some pretty interesting and not happy developments going on outside.
And Achira, you do hear the crackle of the radio. Have you turned it off at this point?
I've turned it very low.
So you do hear the crackle.
Holding it up to my ear.
Yeah, you do hear the crackle, so you do pick up some of this. You know that they're dealing with a lot out there. You do have an opportunity, perhaps in this chaos, to slip away if you can get away from the armed unit that is in this building right now. What I want you to do, I want you and Lampwick to both make stealth rolls, assuming that you're trying to be quiet about this. And Rowan, I'm going to have you make a spot listen check. Difficulty dice for you, Rowan, are going to be +2. So you're going to have 2 black difficulty dice. Chira, Lampwick, neither of you are currently hurt. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Then I'm not going to give you any difficulty dice, despite the fact that it's very dark here. You're moving carefully and quietly. Okay. Rowan, you have a single degree of failure on your roll. Do you wish to do anything to alter that?
I will spend 2 competency points to make it 1 success.
Okay, so you're going to spend 2 of your competency points. You're going to change that into a single success, which means that you are going to be able to hear something. All right, Lampwick, you have 3 degrees of failure. Chira, you have 1 degree of success. Do either of you wish to do anything with your competency points? I will point out that if the 2 of you are working together, Lampwick, that does put the 2 of you in a formation.
That is awesome. Okay, so I have at least a morale bonus for us, so we'll keep it together a little bit. Are we, if we're in formation, does this combine our successes? So, like, basically, do my failures drag her success down?
If the 2 of you are in agreement that you're working together and trying to escape together, if at any point Achira decides to break away and use her successes on her own, she will leave you high and dry. So really the question comes down to you, Achira.
What are the bonuses with being in formation right now?
It's mostly a competency bonus, or I'm sorry, a composure bonus, and also a morale bonus. So the 2 of you are gathered together in a unit, and there's a security in that. And so if there are any psychological issues that might rise up from your forward momentum here, you're going to have a fairly substantial bonus since you're around people. Does that make sense?
Okay. Lampwick, if we both put 2 competency points in, then we should have this, unless you want to put an extra one in, and then we'll...
I'll put in 3.
I'll put in 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put in 2.
Okay. So I believe that brings you both. I'm sorry, how many were you putting in, Lampwick?
I put in 3.
3 and 2 is 5 additional. That means that you're going to have 3 degrees of success on your overall stealth together as the 2 of you move quietly together. I'm going to use those extra successes, and I'm going to remove the need for any composure rolls because you're in a formation, and also because the 2 of you are working together. So the fact that you've witnessed one of your own just be shot in front of you, the fact that you know that there's a military unit somewhere nearby and that the dead are breathing down your neck have no effect on you in this moment. You're razor focused on the idea that you can do this and escape. So the 2 of you begin very quietly moving through. Again, remind me, Rowan, you had brought yourself to 1 degree of success. Now, you do not spot either Achira or Lampwick. However, you hear the swinging of doors as all of the prisoners on the right side of this warehouse have been released. You hear the doors clatter open, and from the top of the scaffolding, a pair of the keys from the guards that are inside this place, the dead ones now, drop in front of Riggs. Riggs shines the flashlight down and then immediately back up, scouring the scaffolding above you. And you see prisoners of the Citadel, some very dangerous, that are free.
Shit. All right. New plan. Shoot everyone.
Riggs immediately begins opening fire after you finish saying that. And others follow as the prisoners are mowed down on the top as some of them run. Some of them drop to the ground. They're screaming. And Achira and Lampwick, both of you are met with a series of flashes from one side. As you're moving forward, a figure drops off the top of one of the cages and lands in front of you. It is garbed in all black and has a hood over their face, but as they raise their face, you see the pale reflection of a white, featureless mask Though you cannot see their expression, you cannot see any of their features. It looks as if they're looking intently at you, Lampwick.
Where's the way out? Help us get out.
The individual turns, and without saying a word, silently begins walking forward. Crouched, quietly, you watch this individual move with unearthly silence as they begin guiding you to one of the cages, and then begins to climb it, looking back at you for just the briefest of moments.
Looks like we need to follow.
So if the two of you wish to follow, I need you both to make climb checks. If you're doing this with stealth, I also would like for you to make stealth checks. So you can make those 2 rolls, and we'll determine. Let's just do a climbing check, and we'll see how you do. We'll barter the instances of success for silence when it comes to this, but any major failures here will create noise. I've already expended all the risk that I need to proceed in this encounter, but things can easily get worse. So looking at this right now, I have 3 degrees of failure from Lampwick on stealth, or I'm sorry, I apologize. 2 degrees of failure from Achira on climb, and 2 degrees of failure from Lampwick on climb. Do you have enough competency to repair this, or do you wish to do this another way?
I have enough to repair. Climbing up on this cage, treacherous. This
Very.
new.
It's not a new location hazard. That's already been given to you. However, it is dangerous.
Can I? I've already rolled, but I'd like to see if waiting. I'm not just going to follow him and climb.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a lot of commotion going on, and I know that at this point I'm hidden, and I'm going to try to look for the moment where the most chaos erupts on that side for me to climb up. So I'm okay with hesitating and kind of being a little bit smart about this to try to mitigate what I think I already expect to be a noisy ascent on my part.
All right. So you're on your own, is what you're saying. You're separating yourself from the group a little bit so that if you do fail, it will really just draw attention to you and not the others.
No.
No, I think what he's saying is that the way that, and I like this idea, the way that we're taking this failure is instead of climbing right away up to the top of the cage, we're going to wait another turn. Like we'll take that as the failure to then do another climb check to.
I fully understand. So you're hoping to delay and not climb at all.
Right. I'd rather stay
both
quiet.
of you are on the same page?
No, it's like we're going to climb, but we're thinking like it's too quiet right now. So that's where this failure is coming from. So instead of climbing now, we'll hold and we'll have that as the failure. So then the next turn we could try rolling again to climb then.
With 2 degrees of failure each, I'll allow that. So what we're doing is we're delaying you. So this is a time issue, meaning that you are putting yourself in harm's way by staying behind, as this individual is already on the top of the cage. All right? So the 2 of you are waiting, and we'll come back to you. Rowan, the gunfire stops, and everything is quiet. Blood is dripping from the cages above now. And you hear moaning and some crying, and some individuals may still be alive, but for the moment, at least, it seems that everything has been subdued and no one is moving. It seems like we're clear.
Can I see the bodies at all? Like how visible are the people that are not moving?
You see a number of silhouettes on the caging, and the flashlights are now crossing over them. You see mangled flesh and faces, riddled in bullet holes, individuals, some of which that you brought into the Citadel yourself. Most of these people are thieves. Some of them are murderers who were doing horrible, unspeakable things to individuals in the wild. And the Citadel was keeping hold of them until they could find the time to properly execute them. So it seems like they just got an expansion of the execution, that it happened a little sooner than they had anticipated. But most of the individuals are now dead. It does look like there are a few alive, some wounded, maybe 3 or 4 individuals that are still here and hurt. On the other side, there is, on the left side, as you see the flashlight kind of flash across the scaffolding there, you see a small girl with dark hair draped down into her face, wearing oversized hospital scrubs, just staring down like she's watching the ocean. Doesn't even seem fazed by this. Next to her are a number of the dead that are tearing apart the flesh of a few of the fallen. And so there are some active Romeros still on your left side, which is where the cages were that Achira, Lampwick, and Juniper were most likely being led to. You do not see any sign of either Achira or Lampwick. You also don't see the 2 individuals that had entered into the space with the white featureless masks in the black garb.
Shit. All right. Yeah, I think we're clear, Riggs. Just make sure that you lock up all the doors real tight when we leave, just in case any of these fuckers decide they want to get up and start walking around again.
Yeah. So when you do that, Riggs nods and is talking to some of the other soldiers, and you hear over the walkie there's a sputter, right? And
hey, Rowan, it's Kusanagi.
What's up,
Rowan,
buddy?
Can you hear me? Is this thing working correctly?
Yeah. What you got for me?
Look, I don't like this at all. It just turns out that, well, as I said before, it doesn't seem natural that these lights went out on their own, and your generator has been, well, thoroughly fucked. And I'm sorry to say, I don't think I can fix this without getting my tools and taking some time here. Somebody's cut a lot of lines.
All that means, Kusanagi, is that somebody or somebodies are about to learn the rules of the Citadel real hard. But you keep doing a good job there, bud. I appreciate everything you do.
Oh, wait, real quick, Rowan, I'm sorry, I'm not doing over and out and all that, but just before I hear the gunfire, and before you get any more violent, you and Riggs and the others, remember what I said. These people are worth something.
I think you'll be happy to know the people that you think are so worth something are no longer in this building. I don't know how they got out, but we're going to go look for them. If you see them out there, tell them all I want to do is talk.
That's a joke, right?
It's just not a full truth.
Okay, I hope I don't find them, but if I do, I'll say that to them. Over and out.
And so, Rowan, you're standing there. The rest of the Citadel unit is scouring the darkness. Achira and Lampwick, you're hidden on the back side of one of these cages. You see the individual above you turn and look down. No motion, nothing, expressionless, just stares down and then turns and starts walking away. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we will resolve the situation and find out if indeed Achira and Lampwick are able to escape the Citadel. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Hunter's Entertainment on Twitch.tv. We are playing Outbreak, Undead, Rag and Bone. Tonight, we have witnessed the death of one of our own. The character has been removed from the game. That's not going to be the end of the story. Inside of the warehouse within the Citadel, gunfire rings out. The ricochet of bullets scrapes across the open cages as individuals drop to the ground. Faith, your aim is true. The rifle tracks along the side of the open cage. You follow the individual as they run forth. You pull the trigger. The man who had pushed his way out drops to the ground. Next to you, quietly, you hear Riggs. Good shot, Faith.
Yeah, no, shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying, you did it good. You got him right through the head.
Yeah, I could fucking see that. Obviously I got him.
All right, keep going. Let's move through before these freaks get any ground on us. Everybody stay clear. Rowan, you want us to pull out?
Yeah, the ones we were looking for, our MVPs, seem to already be gone. Lock it down. Let's roll out and go put out some of the other burning dumpster fires around here.
Roger that. I trust I'm not going to hear any argument from any of you. Well, you heard the lady. Let's move out. The unit begins retreating. Faith, Rowan, what are your intentions?
As we're backing out,
Yeah.
I want to cover Rowan's guard to make sure that she's safe.
Okay. You're guarding Rowan. Some of the others are falling into... Leadership here at the Citadel is a sacred thing. Those that have survived the longest have done so for good reason. They're certified badasses. Many within your unit, Faith, would jump in front of a bullet for any of the leadership. The Citadel has protected you. It has raised you. It has forged you in fire and made you who you are. And while there are problems, this is your world, and you would do anything to protect it. As you step outside, the cool air brushes through your riot armor, and you can't help but sigh some relief. The interior of that warehouse was a death trap. Kusanagi sheepishly appears behind you and the rest of the unit. The man is strange, but he has done good work here at the Citadel and might have a permanent place amongst all of you. Rowan, you weren't wearing a helmet. However, the others, some of them, lift their visors and begin catching their breath, still scouring the horizon line for any sign of threat. They are relaxed, but they are not complicit in their duty. Faith, would you please describe yourself?
Sure thing. Faith is kind of tallish, 5'9", 5'10", short, close cropped black hair. Very muscular. I like to wear almost exclusively muscle shirts with like the arms like cut off, under my rag gear, of course. I've got a pistol holstered under my armpits. A huge black fire axe is strapped to my back. I painted it black because it looks cooler. I wear a mishmash of like military gear along with like 90s gym wear, so it's like riot gear, but then also like wrestling shoes and sometimes a sweatband on my head. Just depends if it's hot or not. Faith carries herself pretty like larger than life. I've got a booming voice. I yell a lot, and I sometimes I just like flex for no reason. It's like my whole thing.
You're well respected within the Citadel. You've earned your place, and there's a lot of discussion about the future that you hold here. Some have said that you are being groomed to become a lieutenant yourself, and that it is only a matter of time before you are promoted. Your brother Omar is too hot-headed, carries too much baggage. You end up doing a lot of the legwork when it comes to Omar these days. He wasn't able to get over what happened to you and the others. You were so young when it happened that, frankly, you don't really remember any of it, do you?
Nope.
But he wouldn't let you forget. Omar repeatedly would tell you, time and time again, all about this woman named Achira. And if what you've heard over the walkie and the buzz around the Citadel is to be true, she's here. And part of you wants to know who this boogeyman really is, to see her face. maybe just to put a bullet in it so that Omar will shut the fuck up. Time will tell. Regardless now, as it seems to be the case when some of these individuals are involved, chaos has broken out. And you are not going to, it seems, to be able to meet this Achira. Not today, anyway. Time will tell, though. Rowan, the others are starting to decompress a little. They still have a respectful amount of awareness about them, but the doors are closed, and one of the other soldiers locks it, turns to you.
Well, let's calm the area. Saw one guy running out of here. We're looking for any of those creepy fuckers in the Halloween masks, and of course, Achira and Lampwick. Those are the people we want the most, but if you see anyone acting suspicious other than them, bullet straight between the eyes. Understood?
Copy that. Yeah, we got you.
Yep, yes, yep, yep. I tried to
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
before. Yes, we heard you, yes.
Excellent. All right, let's roll out.
The unit begins to break out. Rowan, what do you do specifically? Where are you going to go?
First, I'm gonna go check on where the explosion happened earlier and see if they have any bit of information going on over there, if the fires are out, if they need help doing that, and see if I can't find that guy that I did see running away. And just like them, continue to look for Achira and Lampwick.
Okay, so I need you to make a search check, and I'm going to add a single black die of difficulty to that roll. Faith, do you wish to travel with Riggs, or do you wish to travel with Rowan?
I think the order was to go and look for escapees, so I will go with Riggs.
Okay, so Riggs and the other unit are broken off. The group's pretty much split in half. Half of them travel protecting Rowan, the other half are protecting Riggs. And you're with Riggs as they're moving forth, walking around the perimeter of this building first, and then they're going to make their way out as they continue a perimeter sweep. So what I'd like for you to do, Faith, is to make a spot listen check. I'm not going to add any dice of difficulty to that roll for you.
All right.
All right. So, Faith, you have 1 degree of success. Rowan, your search is 3 degrees of failure. So, do you wish, because of the difficulty dice, because of the fire, you weren't able to find the individual that you're looking for? You don't see any sign of this silhouetted person that you caught this really brief glimpse of. So I have to ask you, do you wish to do anything about your 3 degrees of failure?
No, I'm gonna let it ride.
Okay, so the result of that, and I feel like this is fair, is that you're fairly consumed in the idea that you can find who set the fuel depots on fire, and you and your unit waste a lot of time. So you're searching around, and you're not really productive in that search. You don't really find anything. You can say that the southern quadrant of the Citadel is clear as far as you can tell. There's no overt sabotage occurring here. So, Faith, you and Riggs have, with a few other of the unit, there are 3 other individuals with you, continue to push through. You're on the northern quadrant now, and you're searching. Faith, you got 1 degree of success on your spot listen. Now, do you wish to use any of your competency to alter that?
I'll hold on to it for now.
Okay, you're going to hold on to it. So 1 degree of success. I'm going to leave you there, and we will come back and see if that specifically ties into anything else going on. Inside of the warehouse that has just been locked, the brig, everything is dark again. There are quiet sobbing noises coming from the opposite side of prison cells, as now it seems the unit has retreated. And as far as you can tell, most of the people that were within those cells are now very dead. Would you like to climb once again?
Do you want that gear that you said? This might be our chance to pull it off of one of those guards before they start to move again.
The ones that are okay, just real quick. The ones that we had killed before, those 2 guards, they already got up and walked down the walkway, and I think the rest of them moved. The only ones that would be in Citadel Ware right now are the 2 that the shepherds killed, and I think if we go down into the depths of the brig, that might not be a great idea.
You do know that if there is a weapons locker, that it would be on the first floor. You also know that the only 2 guards that were up here, you already picked pretty clean.
The guards on the first floor? Sorry, go ahead.
There would be the guards on the first floor. Maybe if there were any prisoners that dropped down from being killed. And that's probably all that would be there. I feel like our best shot here is to climb out and try to find some other way to camouflage ourselves outside. We got to get out of here.
All right, let's go. Gonna look at the figure that was, I think last he looked at us and wasn't moving, and just kind of nod up and start to climb.
The figure is no longer there.
Yeah, we just climbed to go.
Great.
Okay, so go ahead and each of you make a climb check for me, please. If you would like to do this quietly, let me know, and we'll have to see how many additional successes you'll need to be able to make that happen. One degree of success for Lampwick.
Sorry, I have to find it.
While Achira is doing that, Lampwick, are you going to alter your results?
I'm gonna roll with that.
Okay, so it is successful, but it is not quiet. Achira, you have 2 degrees of success, which is enough to do so and be fairly quiet. If you wish to add a competency point to that to make it 3 degrees of success, you can make this absolutely silent.
I feel like I'm going to need it more later, so
All right.
I'll roll with my 2 degrees of success.
You are quiet, but you are not silent. Lampwick is able to climb, but it's loud. All right?
Got it.
So there is noise that's issuing forth on your side of the cage now as you climb up to the top. And upon reaching the very top of this cage, you see that it is fairly close to the metal roofing of the building itself. And you see these struts and beams. And standing on one of these beams in the center of the space, you see this masked individual standing in front of what looks like a small air vent. The individual, once again, you cannot see their expression, their features, or anything behind that mask. Once they make contact with you, they immediately leap and grab onto it, pulling themselves up in a deadlift. And as they do so, they slip into this air vent, and you see that they struggle for a moment to pull themselves in and presumably out of the building.
Well, I guess it's our turn.
Hope you didn't indulge in too much jerky, Lampwick.
No, they don't really feed us that kind of stuff over there. I approach where this vent is, and I look up and see how to climb up it like this guy did.
Well, before you do anything, you're going to have to leave the confines of the cage that you're standing on top of and make your way to the steel beams. They're I-beams. You're then going to have to walk your way across it without support over a 50-foot drop.
I see.
Yeah, seems like this location is very...
Hazardous, yes. It's very hazardous.
Okay, look, I'm not as good at this stuff as you are, so, and I don't want to fall. Do we tie some rope? Do you have a I guess I have an idea. I want to get some rope. I want to tie it around my waist and then loop it around the beam so that if I fall, hopefully
Just
it'll
use your
catch me.
shirt. Just take off your shirt and use your shirt.
Uh,
You just
I
need
don't.
something to feel like you use your shirt and then kind of caterpillar crawl along the rafter. You don't have to balance on it like you're an Olympic gymnast. You can crawl to get over
Right.
there.
Yeah. I'm gonna crawl over. I'm gonna not, indulge the moment of my own not smart thinking, and I'm going to get down on all fours and kind of grab my shirt, pull it around, and start kind of shimmying over carefully.
Very well. I need you to make a climb check. There will be no dice of difficulty added to this. It's just a straight roll. As you pull yourself against this metal beam, dragging yourself out over a very long drop to concrete. That's a single degree of failure, Lampwick.
Mhm.
Do you wish to do anything about that?
I do not want to fall, so I will use 2 competency points to make that a success.
Before you spin those competency points, with only 1 degree of failure, it doesn't mean that you fall. It will mean that you stop and you are too frightened to move forward.
Oh, man.
So you could wait until the next turn and take it, but any further movements are going to be done with a difficulty die, as you will accept the fear of this moment.
I haven't seen Achira in a while, and we both know that this is not my specialty. I also don't want her to think that I'm not worth keeping around. I think that instead of stalling, I steal my resolve and I move forward, and I'll spend those 2 points because there's
Alright.
more at play than just that right now.
Achira, you also, if you're making your way across this, should tell me how you're doing it.
I'm gonna do it the same way that I just told Lampwick to,
Mhm.
where it's more of a safety issue as opposed to trying to be flamboyantly quick like the guard was. This is all about making it, not about making it with flair or, So it'll just be that climbing.
So just make a climb check for me. There are no dice of difficulty as you are precautiously moving forward behind Lampwick. Achira, that, however, is 5 degrees of failure on your climb.
Yeah.
Now, I know you have, since this is a location hazard, just earned yourself a healthy amount of competency. I can only imagine that you're going to want to use some of that here.
I think I'm gonna have to, otherwise 2 will die. How much am I using here? How much do I need to get out? Okay. I have 8 competency points thanks to this location hazard and being very careful with using them up to this point. I will do 5 to make it a wash, and then no. Okay, sure. I will do 2 more to make this 2 degrees of success.
Leaving you.
If I can utilize that to be able to get to and out of the vent with the 2 degrees of success, leaving me 1 competency point for.
You're very, very persuasive, and you're very hopeful as well, but I hate to disappoint you. You will spend all of those competency. You will have 1 remaining, and you will make it to the middle and you will have to make a separate push-pull check or lift-pull check to pull yourself into the vent, as it is actually a small leap off the ground onto this space to grab hold of it, and then you have to pull yourself up. Now, perhaps the two of you can work out another way to do it, but if you undertake this action, you will have 1 competency point left, and you will be in the center along with Lampwick. Is that what you want?
Unless spending that extra 1 will get me to the vent, then that's what I want.
Yes. So the two of you make your way across this beam, sliding yourself out into the middle of this enormous metal warehouse. Above you, you feel air pushing through as you see now above you a small vent. It's very tight. However, you do think that both of you will fit within it. Lampwick, it might be difficult for you. However, it is about 7 feet off the ground from this beam. So you'll have to pull yourself from a full deadlift into this vent. And below you, 50 feet below, you see the concrete and a scattered array of dead bodies.
Lampwick, can you call your man to come back to help?
I was
Seems pretty
just
strong.
thinking the same thing. I'm gonna stand underneath there, and I'm gonna look up, and I'm gonna say, "We need your help." As quietly as I can, but making sure that at least my voice is carrying up towards the vent.
Make me a persuade check.
We're still in a formation.
You
Does that
are
help?
in a formation, so I will not make this difficult for that persuasion to be heard. Also, if you notice, I've not made you make a composure check for being 50 feet above the ground.
Right.
2 degrees of success, but with your abilities, I believe that makes that 5. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You whisper that very firmly. A black nylon rope drops down. We'll come back to the two of you. Faith, you hear something. The rest of the unit was about to move on. It was very quiet. Almost so quiet that you missed it. You almost just walked right past it. It was a very, very faint sound of the buckle of metal from the roof above you. What do you do?
I want to stealth over so I get visibility of the roof, and draw my gun, my pistol.
Okay, so yeah, you have your rifle at the side, you have your pistol drawn, you pull up to the side, the others look to you, and Riggs quickly motions with his hand. Everyone follows suit and cozies up to the side of the wall, weapons drawn, waiting on your lead. What do you see there, Faith?
Sound. Could be nothing. Could be someone to kill. Find out.
All right, sweetheart, I'm trusting you. You
Don't
let me
call
know.
me sweetheart. Don't call me sweetheart. We went over this.
You got it. Just point the way.
I'm pointing. What
Take
do
lead.
I'm doing that. I'm doing that thing. Thank you. Yes. What do I see? Or should I? Do I have to crawl up there?
So there is an access ladder on the far side of the building. So if you want to get up onto the roof, you're going to have to walk around the building, and you're going to start climbing 50 feet on a welded ladder up to the top of this building.
I'm excellent at climbing.
Okay. So, yeah, typically like a fire escape, it's locked. So, you're going to have to, you have keys. You're going to have to unlock it, Bring it down all the way, and then you can work your way through a little cage, a circular cage that leads you up on the side of this metal building. The others are behind you. Riggs looks to you. All right, Faith. You're going to go up there? You going to take somebody with you? Pick
yeah,
someone.
Okay. I grab sort of like, not a newbie, but not like our most veteran, just like a real middle, like a little bit expendable, but can do things.
Yep. Yeah, there's an older soldier actually who's new to the Citadel, but an older soldier, and the two of you have gotten along well enough. But he also is fairly quiet. His name is Assad, and he's smart, and he's been respectful and pretty straightforward. Riggs is always sort of mother birding you in a weird way, always trying to be protective and try to push you forward. Rowan's much cooler about the whole situation, although, you would much rather earn her respect over Riggs. But working with Riggs is always a bit of a hassle because you can tell that he's putting a lot of pressure on you unintentionally.
All right, Assad, come here. You follow me up. Everyone else, cover us from down here.
You got
We're
it.
not back in 5 minutes. Come on up. Join the party.
All right. So you and Assad begin climbing up this ladder, and the other two guards are with Riggs as they are holding the perimeter and sort of scanning the area and keeping a sharp eye on everything. The two of you are climbing up now. I need you to make a climb check.
Okay.
Easy, without a problem. Yeah, you are moving up this ladder without any issue whatsoever. Since it was a ladder, I wasn't going to really throw the high difficulty at you anyway. But you do manage to just very carefully slide your way up this ladder. Assad is following after, and though he's older, he keeps up. The man is probably in his early 50s. And he's got his rifle on his back. You kind of hear it clink across some of the metal as he moves through, so it's not as quiet as you are. But you slip up to the top, and when you get there, I'd like for you to make a stealth check, please.
Okey-dokey.
5 degrees
This is
of
insane.
success. Faith, you move up to the top of this roof without making a noise. And as you place your combat boots down on the metal roof, you see 2 individuals dressed in black standing over a hole in the roof. The ventilation shaft. That's what they use to get out. You see them now. Both of them are armed. One of them has a sword drawn and a knife underslung in their hand. They have a pistol on their side, holstered still, and they're standing there. And it looks like they're quietly looking down into this hole. The other one has a hold of a nylon rope, and is holding it in their hand, and then under their elbow, wrapped around a few coils. And it looks like they're bracing themselves, preparing to help someone else climb out.
Okay.
What is your intention?
I want to motion to Assam to target the one without the rope, and I'm going to try to shoot the one with the rope.
Okay. He levels himself. He's not as quiet as you are, but it doesn't matter. You are so quiet that you're able to get into a perfect position before he puts his boots onto the top of the roof. He levels out his rifle slowly. And he starts to pull the hammer back. And there's a click. The individual who was holding on to the sword, not the rope, with lightning speed, drops the sword, draws the gun, and turns on Assad in a heartbeat. You were going to shoot the one with the rope, is that correct?
Yes.
Would
Can
you
I-
like to change your intention?
Yes, please.
Then I'm going to impose a difficulty upon you. So you can roll your. Are you doing this with your rifle or your pistol?
Pistol. I don't
Okay,
know
so
if I have
you
a
can
rifle
still
or not.
roll with your pistol, but I'm going to add a black die of difficulty to the roll.
Okay. Do we need speed die for this?
I do need speed die, so you need to roll 2 speed die and your depletion die. So you're also rolling a white die to see if you expend your ammunition.
Funny thing about Faith, she has marksman tier 2, so anytime I use my pistol, I remove 1 speed dice from the pool. So I roll 1.
You are
instead of 2.
very quick, Faith.
What else? Anything else weird with the blah, 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 blah? Nope, I think I'm good. All right, so this is pistol, and I do a multiplier of 2 with this. Doot, 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 doot.
Okay, so you have a single degree of success, but you have a speed of 5. So you, without even thinking about it, you change targets, you pull the trigger, and your gunshot rings out across the top of this roof. Do you wish to improve your hit
Yes.
by adding competency? How many competency do you wish to add to this? Because it will alter how you damage this opponent.
Oh, God. 2? Is 2 enough to knock him out, like to knock him flat?
If you put 2 additional competency points into this, you'll have 3 degrees of success, which you can change over to a. It still will be a body hit, but it will be a very powerful strike with your weapon. So you're going to fire full mast into him, most likely knocking him back. So you're choosing to put this person on the ground. All
yes.
right. Okay, so that is what you're going to do. So you have just saved Assad's life as the bullet hits, the trigger is pulled from this masked individual, and gunshot rings through the air as they're hit completely center mass. And okay, so the individual drops to the ground, and you lose sight of them as they fall on the other side of the open hatchway that leads into that air vent. The other individual who's holding onto the rope, though, has your full attention now as they're still standing there. We'll come back to your group, Faith. Rowan, you're outside, and you're moving through the southern quadrant of the Citadel. You've gotten a number of radio reports, and things are beginning to lock themselves down. There have been no further instances of sabotage, and whoever's responsible is most likely hiding at this point. The dogs are out, and they have managed to capture someone.
Well, what do we have here?
So they inform you, your soldiers inform you, that they're near the commissary. They found someone trying to poison the food supply.
All right. Well, where's he being held?
Currently, they are outside of the commissary, and they are waiting for you or one of the other lieutenants to arrive so that they can make any permanent decisions.
Let's go check that out. I think we should lock this asshole down and find out some information about him.
Yeah, the individual that you're talking to is a soldier who just goes by Stryker, and Stryker is a pretty brash younger soldier, another one of the Citadel-raised children, and is walks the line. A little more wild than some of the others, certainly not a leader like Faith, and not quite the hothead that Omar is. But Stryker does what he's told, and is fairly good at following orders. So Stryker informs you of his location, and you begin making your way to that portion of the camp. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so you arrive, and there's a woman who is handcuffed on the ground with her hands behind her back. And she is, she's got a what looks like a broken nose and a very swollen eye. Stryker and a couple of other soldiers are standing close by. They have weapons drawn, and they're just in casual alertness, keeping an eye on everything else that's going down around you. The fires in the distance have almost completely been quelled, and you can see other individuals moving about. But for the most part, Rowan, it's you, these soldiers, and the soldiers that you've brought here. And as you approach, you hear the buzz of the radio as Riggs tries to get your attention.
Hey, Rowan, it turns out that, Baby Faith really came through here for us and has eyes on something. So that we might just have that conversation you were hoping to have with your old friends.
Excellent. Yeah, she never lets me down, Riggs. She's a good one. I'm happy we have her. I'll make my way over there shortly. There's someone that they apprehended over here in holding, trying to poison the water hole.
Yeah, well, great. I'm glad that shit's taken care of. I was getting A1 worried about what the fuck was going on around here. But, given everything that's been going down, feels like we've got this under control, but I'm not... What I said earlier completely stands here, Rowan. We've got a lot to answer for, and management isn't going to be none too pleased with this.
Yeah, I am aware of that. Do not worry. We will find someone to put all of this on. And it will not be us.
Yeah, I copy that. Fully understand that. Look, what about that fucking Lampwick guy? Because I was going to just shoot him in the fucking face, but it feels like he's a real choice target for pinning this all on.
You know, I think you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Good to know. Then I won't put a bullet immediately in his forehead. Over and out.
So you're having that conversation, and this woman on the ground is like struggling, but she's not saying anything. She's kind of staring with anger at everyone. You recognize her. You don't remember her name, but you saw her at Grey Ridge.
Is she in the room with me, or is she being like held in a separate place where I can see her but not interact with her? Or is the line of communication open?
You're inside the commissary, and she's lying there, and you're seeing her through a doorway.
Well, shit. I think we have an ungrateful citizen in our midst.
I'd say so, Stryker says, kind of proudly, like a dog who has a toy.
Rowan will walk in, kind of grab her gun from her back and just kind of hold it. Not really like aiming it directly at her, but just to have it in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do so.
You know, there's rules in this place, miss. Not sure what you thought you were doing, but what you did has some serious repercussions.
She sort of spits some blood at your boot. I fucking know what I was doing, and I know what you did.
Oh, see, now that's not going to make it any easier on you. I was going to give you an option to live, but you keep talking shit like that, you might not make it out of here.
Do you think that I expected to live doing this to you assholes? I'm not stupid.
You make a very valid point. You do know there are things worse than death.
You've got her attention now.
Who was it that sent you to do this? Was this like your own little brainchild here? You thought you were gonna roll up in the Citadel and just mercilessly slaughter all my men? Would you have someone you were working with?
It was just me alone. I wanted to show you assholes what happens when you do this to other groups.
Oh, see, now from the way I see it, your home got burned to the fucking ground. So we took you in and took care of you and gave you food. And now you don't live in dirt where Romero's can get to you at any second. So I think what we are owed is a thank you.
How about fuck you? Does that make you happy? You sadistic bitch.
See now, I like your spirit. I'm gonna let you live. What I'm not gonna let you do is keep talking shit. Boys, hold her down.
She fights immediately, but you do order your men to hold her down. And she struggles, but she's still there.
I'm gonna open her mouth, and if she doesn't open her mouth, I'm gonna plug her nose so that she has to breathe by opening her mouth.
Eventually she does. She gasps for air. She's angry still, but you see fear now.
You got one last chance to talk, sweetheart. You want to tell me about anybody else that helped you with this? Maybe I lessen this sentence. But if you got nothing to tell me, you got no reason to keep all your parts.
Make me, please, Rowan, an intimidate check.
Any degree of difficulty or anything like that?
No, I would say you've removed any need for difficulty dice on that. She was very willful stepping into this situation, but she has been worn down. Perhaps not enough, though.
I'm going to use
You wish
competence.
to do anything? How many competency do you want to spend on this?
I'll go ahead and spend 6 if I can, which I believe gives me 5 degrees.
It's
Okay.
been done before. Every game master runs their game differently. I think the letter of the law is that you use 3 per instance. However, we've never played that way. I believe that this is more dramatic. I'm going to allow it. So you spend, I believe, all of your competency. Is that correct?
I have very, very, very little left.
Okay. So you spend most of your competency, and you have 5 degrees of success on intimidating the living hell out of this woman. And she starts crying. You've broken her easily. And you are a little disappointed because you thought that maybe she'd be a little bit harder to crack on this one. But she, for all of her bravado, you respect that. However, she must have been through a lot because she's gushing now.
So what do you know?
I don't know much. There are survivors. I loved her, and she's dead now, and you fuckers drove a tank through the fucking fence. Do you really think that that's helping people?
Oh, well, we have our own special way of doing things here, and it's why we've survived this long.
Yeah, well, the way that you do things is causing people a lot of harm. That's all. And I don't know much. There are others. I don't know where they are. They gave me what I needed to get here. And when I was brought in, by your people, I knew that I could get things done and try to give you a taste of what you've done. You're never going to find them. They're done. They're gone.
Names would still be good.
Polly. Sanderson. Neville. They're still alive.
Well, thank you for your help. And as a reward, I'm not going to cut your tongue out of your skull. You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to have one of these gentlemen bring you in a beer, and we're going to keep you on watch for a while to make sure you don't do any more fuck shit where I got to cut your tongue out for real next time. The first one's free.
She's just broken in a pile. She obviously is ashamed that she's told you all of that. And inside of this enormous commissary with these soldiers standing over her, she's just weeping.
I look at the soldiers and go, keep an eye on that one. Don't let her get anywhere. The whole other, just, we need to find a new place for her. All right, disaster is going on where we usually keep them.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, boss. We'll keep a sharp eye on her. And if she does talk, I'll cut her tongue out for you. And Sanderson kind of gets a little edgy.
And like I said, we reward good behavior here at the Citadel. Bring her a beer.
I'm sorry, Stryker nods and walks into the commissary kitchen and then comes back out with a homebrewed beer. Opens it, and the rest of the soldiers are jealous because most members of the Citadel don't even touch this stuff, and you're giving it to a prisoner. They're not mad. It's just like it creates a definite air of awe when this beer is brought out and opened. But to their credit, they give it to her, and she just kind of holds it.
Excellent. I'm gonna go check and make sure that everything that Riggs is doing is on the up and up. Make sure nobody tries to surprise them from behind. And hit me on the walkie if you need me, or if this one tries to run away.
You got it, boss. The rest of the soldiers stand there. Do you leave with the detachment that you had, the other 3 soldiers? Or do you leave them behind?
I'll bring one.
Okay, so you're going to take one of the soldiers with you. Meanwhile, inside of the warehouse, Achira and Lampwick, the nylon rope has dropped down to you. Who's going up first?
I think I was there first, so I was down. I was staring. I asked for help. He dropped down the rope. I think
you and Achira are effectively face to face at this point on this beam with the vent directly above you. So it's however you choose to climb up this rope, because either of you could help the other. It's up to you. Certainly having someone below is going to be an advantage to the first person up.
Anybody have a coin to flip?
I wish. We can... look, you're better at this than I am. If you can help stabilize me when you're up there, you're welcome to go up first.
You're acting like I wouldn't trust you to stabilize me.
Hey, I don't know. You seemed to be a little bit pissed off at me earlier, and I know that we're overdue for a talk, but I'm just trying to make sure that we get to a point where we can have that happen. So, I want to get you out of here, and I want you to be safe.
I trust you to stabilize me. We still need to do the talk.
Yeah, I know.
Either way, I'll cover you, whether I'm below or above.
Well, let me go up first then, because, you know, I don't know that much about these guys that I'm here with. I know that they're going to help us. Let me make sure that they know that I'm still here and safe.
Achira has her pistol where it'll be easy to grab once she is further up on the rope, and watches Lampwick go ahead of her.
I want to know, as you do that, are you taking any special precautions?
Have I heard any gunfire or anything yet, or is everything still quiet?
For the two of you, that has not yet occurred.
Then I'm just going to try to get up there as quickly as I can. I don't think I'm perceived that I'm in any kind of danger. Last I believed, they all took off, and we have someone helping us.
All right, just make a simple climb check. There are no dice of difficulty, but I would like for you to roll 2 blue speed die. Achira, are you doing anything specifically?
Well, Achira has her pistol at the ready.
Mm-hmm.
After Lampwick clears, she's going to go up quickly, not stealthily.
Okay, so make a spot listen check and roll me 2 blue speed dice as well.
Question.
Yes.
Are we technically using climbing gear?
You have
Yeah.
climbing gear on you, so the answer is yes.
Got it.
And so you can use that climbing gear bonus as well. Since you're not climbing without the gear, it makes perfect sense that this would be easier.
Great.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're back. Let's continue on with our story. Achira, you and Lampwick are attempting to climb up the black nylon rope that has been dropped by a number of individuals that have been assisting Lampwick, members of the group known as the Shepherds. They are mysterious and silent. They have been guarded in their secrets, very cautious about how they've interacted with any of you. You know very little about them, but in this moment, they have offered you a lifeline, a tether to the outside world. Within this brig, there is only death and the broken remains of Juniper, your former companion and friend. She has not made it out alive, and both you and Lampwick still have some hope that you might. Lampwick, with 1 degree of failure on your climb roll, you will be stuck trying to enter into this very tight air vent. It's not very deep. You only have to pull yourself through a few feet, and then it looks like other individuals, the shepherds that have moved before you, have dismantled and removed a fan that was in the way. Now it's a clear shot to the night sky beyond. Do you wish to hold on to the 1 degree of failure, or would you like to use some competency to adjust this?
I only have 1 competency point left, so that wouldn't help me in this situation.
It will delay you for a turn, and you can make a new climbing check. However, as you know, time is of the essence.
Right. Well, I don't have, unless the 1 competency point will negate that, then that's the only option I have. Otherwise, maybe as I'm climbing up, if Achira isn't too far ahead of me, taking off my pack and maybe handing it off to unburden myself for a moment might be something I can do.
If I understand correctly, Achira was going second.
Right.
So Achira is behind you, and as the two of you are working together in a formation, should Achira wish, she could expend competency of her own to help you in this situation. Perhaps she gives you a push or helps to support you.
Is there anything that the 4 degrees of success that I got can help with this?
The 4 degrees of
It's
success are for your spot listen, and it's far more than you need. So
Could I use some of those
you
successes then?
And what I'll allow you to do is to make a decision here, Achira. because with that many successes, it's only fair that I give you a full description of what's happening above you. You hear very quiet footsteps on the roof, the metal roof above you. Then you hear gunshot. Lampwick is halfway up this rope, trying to pry himself into this vent when it occurs. You can use your degrees of success to either help him go further or to help him back.
There's nothing for us back. There's nothing but death in the brig. We won't be able to get doors open. There's just the dead down there. We don't have an option here. It has to be forward or nothing.
All right, so then I'll allow you to give him a push, moving him into 1 degree of success with your successes from your spot. Listen, that means, Lampwick, that you're able to ascend, cutting and bruising yourself some through this air vent, and you place your hands on the sides of it.
I'm gonna start pulling myself up to make room for Achira.
Understood. You only see one of the masked individuals standing above you with the rope, and once he sees you, the individual drops the rope and draws their gun.
All right.
Now,
Shit.
before we go any further, Faith, the individual who is holding the rope, draws their weapon. What is your intention as you see another figure pulling themselves out from inside the building?
I would motion to Assad to go towards the opening while I shoot the one holding the, what do you call it? The rope and drawing
Okay.
his gun.
Yeah, so that individual no longer is holding the rope, has
Right.
drawn their weapon. However, Assad nods and begins moving around in an open arc, gun drawn, trained on the other individual. And you're going to begin moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're planning on just moving forward, I'll have you make a dodge check.
Okay.
And please roll 2 blue speed dice as well, Faith.
Okay. Oh. I'll use 2 competency to get that to 1 degree of success.
Okay. So you do succeed, and you drop and roll as a series of shots whiz directly past your ear. Whoever is behind that mask, despite the fact that you cannot see their eyes, is still a fairly remarkable shot. You barely stepped away from that. And as you hit the ground and you roll on this roof, you reposition yourself, and you're not quite as close as you wanted to be. Lampwick, you hear gunshots in front of you. Achira, you hear gunshots outside. The rope is there. Lampwick is pulling himself out, but you can see that he's still blocking the entrance of this air vent. What would you like to do? What is your intention?
I have to get out. There's nothing for me down there, so I can only go forward. There's no choice here. I have to go forward.
Are you going to begin climbing that rope while Lampwick is still on it?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead and make a climbing check for me and add 2 blue speed die. There are no dice of difficulty. Rowan, you hear gunshots from across the camp as gunfire is erupting on the roof of the brig. From your perspective, you see Faith and a number of these individuals engaged in a gunfight. There was only 2 individuals that you can see clearly at the moment, but you're certain that one of them is one of the masked individuals that had eluded you earlier. What would you like to do? What's your intention?
See, there's more than one of them, so we can always question one and kill the other. I'm going to shoot at the one that I can see and hopefully finish them off from what Faith has done.
Okay, you're going to position yourself, and you're going to take a shot with your long gun. Now, this is this would be a sniping shot. This is rather tricky. So if you're going to do this, I'm going to impose some dice of difficulty unless you have an ability or a skill that would improve that.
I might, but I'll look that up later. I'm just going to risk it right now.
Okay, so go ahead and make a long gun roll and add a single black die of difficulty to that roll. Achira, you have 2 degrees of success on your climb. Lampwick, as you're pulling yourself through, you see this happening. You know that there's at least one other individual firing from this side, right outside of this vent that you're pulling yourself through. What is your intention?
Oh man. Okay, so this needs to stop.
We both have guns.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to a position where I'm up enough and can hold on to the rope because I don't want Achira to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna call out, "Cease fire! We're here. We're not enemies. We're here under Rowan's invitation. Get Rowan."
You grab onto the rope and you yell out. Make a persuade roll for me. Oh, or an intimidate if that was your intention.
I'm just trying to reason, really. I'm not trying to intimidate them. I'm trying to just get them to like be somewhat reasonable.
Well,
not stupid.
Faith will make Faith's decision on their own, but you do have another of the soldiers up here with you, and I'd like to see how they react to this.
Got it. All right. Here we go. Nope.
Oh, I've never seen that before, Lampwick.
Me neither.
From you, that's shocking. That is 5 degrees of failure on a persuade from Lampwick. As you yell forth desperately, pulling yourself out of this vent. It falls on deaf ears, but I think more than that, unless you'd like to do something to alter it. Now, you are on this rope with him, Achira, so if you would like, you can feed some competency into this as well to lessen this failure. But you know whatever's happening, whoever is up here doesn't care.
I only have 1 competency point. What I have to put in won't make a difference. So
All right.
No, it has to roll.
It's going to be a catastrophic failure.
I have 1 competency point. Will that reduce it? Will that make a difference in terms of the severity?
Both of you spending your competency, your last competency, will reduce this out of being catastrophic and just make it a failure.
Is there any way that survival points can be utilized in this in any way?
I haven't offered that, but given the dire situation and the tension that has arisen here in the Citadel, I think the two of you alleviating yourself of some of your resources and your ability to collect future resources makes a great deal of sense. At 25 survival points apiece, I will allow you to buy off failures. I will not, of course, allow you to buy successes, but if you hold on to your successes and buy off the failures, you could potentially turn this into a success.
Oof.
But it will be expensive.
I'll put in, let's see, that's 3. It's my failure. I'll put in 75.
So that reduces it to 2 degrees of failure.
I'll put in my competency point if we get this down to where that can make a difference.
That means it would cost you 50 survival points, Achira.
If you're willing to do that.
Okay. Thanks to last game, I actually have that to spend. So, yeah.
But this has brought you to the very bare minimum. You've lost and expended almost all of the resources that either of you have available to you. This is becoming rather dire.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, with a single competency point, however, that still turns this into 5 successes, doesn't it?
Turns it into 4.
4.
+3.
The soldier that is nearest to you, Lampwick, looks back. Faith, you see some amount of confusion as the soldier looks back at you. What do you do?
Sorry, when you say soldier, do you mean the masked
Assad
person?
is still
Oh, you mean-
next to you, yeah. Or is moving to one side. Has the gun drawn and is moving closer. Looks back to you in confusion.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I got confused. I motion for him to shoot the hooded person, and I just say, Rowan said to leave the 2 prisoners, Lampwick and Achira, for her. Get that guy. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he's dead.
He does. He fires. And you were firing as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll your pistol, and let's see how well you do. I do need speed dice as well.
Okay. What's 2 or 1?
2 speed dice.
Okay. So
Oh, actually, you only roll 1. So
Right.
roll
Well,
the 1.
If you say 2, then I roll 1. But
yeah,
if
I
you
say
say
2.
1, then I roll 0.
I say 2, so you
Okay.
roll 1.
Cut up. Oh, and then I do have gear. So apparently it was a multiplier of 3 since the Citadel
Yes.
item, and I messed up last time. But that's 1 miss.
Okay. So do you have any competency remaining?
I do, but this doesn't feel very important.
You miss if that's.
Yeah,
it's not-
I think I just missed because maybe Assad will help me.
It's not a life-altering shot.
Yeah.
You just barely, as the individual moves and steps to the side. Very skilled martial combatant. They're highly trained. You can tell just by clocking them in these couple of moments that you've interacted with these 2 masked individuals. This is no joke. These are real soldiers. These are combatants, and they're dangerous. And luckily, however, your partner here has fired as well, and has hit the individual as they step to one side, dropping them. The gun rings out, and they roll to the side as 4 very clear shots strike them in the chest and shoulder, putting them on the ground. Lampwick, everything now is quiet. Your words have rung out. Achira, you're hanging by this rope. Faith, what is your intention?
Is my head over the top of the roof? Am I?
You are, but only one person can enter at a time. You're almost there. Lampwick has to pull himself out, and I've not heard Lampwick say that he was going to do that yet.
Oh yeah, as soon as I was shouting, and I'm pulling myself out to help stabilize Achira as she comes up, and that's when I called out the ceasefire.
I turn to Assad. Get back up. Tell him to come up here. And if Rowan's around, she probably wants to see these 2 idiots, I guess. I want to make my way over to the opening after that and just call out, "Hey, you 2, Lampwick and Achira. I guess Rowan wants to talk to you. Achira, I kind of want to talk to you too. Come on up."
Lampwick, do you follow?
I'm trying to get there as fast as I can. So if I wasn't up already,
You
then
pull
I'd
yourself out,
pull
and you
myself
see this woman there. Faith, do you want to describe yourself?
Yep, you see apparently someone online said that 5'9" is not very tall. Excuse you. Excuse you so much. You see what in your perception looks like a tall, cool, very buff lady with a lot of gear, a lot of guns. Doesn't look very nice. Short hair, and doesn't look very friendly to you, my dude.
I'm as cool as a cucumber, at least trying to be, as I come up as non-threatening as possible.
Achira, you pull yourself up. Rowan, you had leveled your gun out, and you had missed your shot. You see the individual drop, though, as another combatant on the roof must have tagged them. What would you like to do at this point?
I'm gonna keep heading that way.
All right. So you head over there. You see some individuals down at the base of it, and you know, the ladder's there, and you're told that you can head up if you want. Otherwise, they'll keep guard here. They've got folks ready to go. Somebody was asking for you.
I'll head up.
Okay. So you start climbing up. Meanwhile, the three of you, you see Achira pull herself out. Lampwick, Achira, you're on the roof now. You're secure. There is only a single Citadel guard here at this moment. Faith, what do you say to them?
We're your little friends helping you get out of here.
I'm looking around. Are the white masked figures nowhere to be seen?
There are two bodies lying on the ground.
I start to approach them. You killed them.
I did what I was told. Apparently you two can't.
They weren't trying to kill us, and they weren't trying to kill you either.
Oh, no, I was told to kill them because they're just not important to what we're trying to get here, and Rowan wanted to talk to you two.
Oh,
Nobody
no,
else.
no. Ooh, you are so mistaken. I don't think you know what you just did. You just killed two of the shepherd's people.
Did I?
Well, someone from the look. What I think and what I perceive isn't the issue. I guarantee you, they're watching. And I'm going to approach the white mask, and I'm going to check to see if carefully see if this thing is moving at all, or dead, or alive.
Faith, your radio crackles to life.
While Lampwick and Faith are having that argument with each other and checking bodies, can I do a stealth check to get behind her?
Yeah, you can make your stealth check, but before you do, go ahead and make the roll for it. But you hear the radio. All of you hear the radio.
Faith, what's going on up there? Rowan's on her way.
Yeah, I found the two she was looking for, and there were some of those weird hooded guys, so we just kind of took them out because I don't like what the fuck's going on here.
You're making your stealth check? Sure.
Oh, yeah.
You can make a spot listen check for me, please. Faith?
Me? Yeah.
I'll put my last competency in it.
Okay, so that is 2. You're trying to beat it 2, Faith.
Oh,
5 degrees of failure.
Mm-hmm.
So you do not, unless you have a lot of competency. I don't know that you have that much.
No, I only have 3, so I will just...
Yeah, you're going to
Leave it.
fail either way.
Yep.
You're talking on the radio, and you're watching this Lampwick guy. You don't notice that Achira has just given you the slip. She was there just a moment ago. Achira, what do you do when you're behind Faith?
I don't know that this is Faith. As far as I know, this is just a Citadel soldier.
Named Faith.
Yeah, you heard
But
the
I don't
radio.
know.
Right.
You don't
I
know.
don't know.
You don't know that. I would say that you could argue that easily, but you heard the radio. This is a Citadel soldier named Faith. So it's up to you what conclusion you draw. It's your choice.
I would pull my knife to...
You should do what you would do.
I would pull my knife to do a slash attack.
All right.
More than likely, since I'm behind them, I would go for the throat.
All right. So this is how it's going to go down. You've made an intention. We'll have you make a... we're going to have you make your knife attack.
I mean, really, I would have just shot this person in the back with a pistol, but
I'll
do the slash with the knife instead.
Again, that is your
And we'll
choice.
just see.
Okay, so let's do a slash. Set yourself up for slash attack. There are, unfortunately, 5 degrees of failure on a spot listen on Faith's part. So I'm going to I'm going to give you no dice of difficulty on the attack. You're going to move up. However, climbing up the ladder, Rowan, I'm going to have you make a spot listen check as well. And Lampwick, I'm going to have you make a spot listen check as well. As you're checking the pulse of the individual on the ground next to you. And then, Faith, you can roll a dodge.
All right.
But that dodge has 3 dice of difficulty attached to it due to your failures on the spot listen.
Oh.
And it wholly depends on how well Achira rolls here. So,
can I use my recon gear?
You are not functionally using your recon gear.
I'm not really doing anything. I just thought I'd check. All right.
It's just a straight roll.
Oh my god.
So you don't get out of the way. That's clear. Lampwick, you don't hear. And then Rowan, did you get 1 degree of failure? You did. Everyone has failed fairly severely.
Does the top of the roof count as a location hazard?
The top of the roof is not a location hazard at this time. So you are putting yourself behind this opponent. You slash at them, and you do strike them. You don't strike them where you wanted to, and you drag it across what feels like some form of armor underneath the flak jacket.
So I don't draw any blood?
You do not draw any blood with your failure. However, you do strike the individual, which does alert them fully to your presence behind them. Rowan, you're coming up the ladder now. You do not do so or hear anything strange before that occurs, but you do end up pulling yourself up just in time to see Achira do this, strike against Faith with her knife. Lampwick, you are standing over the individual, checking for a pulse, and you immediately kind of realize what's happening as you look back, and you see everything playing out before you. Were you just checking for a pulse?
I was checking to see if they were moving, and I was reaching for the sword that might still be in their hand.
I figured that you weren't just checking to see if they were okay. Thank you for not disappointing me. So you're going for the sword that they were holding next to them. You place your hand around the sword. You see all this happening. And as you grab the sword, a hand grabs your wrist. And that is where we're going to end our session tonight.